Good day, Architect Guinevere We are a group students under the supervisory of Architect Katlia Guinevere. We are here to have a short interview with you in relation with our history of architecture for subject. So, may I have Hannah for the first question?
Our first question, ma'am, is can you tell us about your experience in both current and finished projects?
For my current projects and finished projects, I have been in the practice since 2017. So I've been an architect since 2017 up to current. Okay, so I have finished residential, commercial, and during my the early years of my practice, I've been employed under architect Zafra. So I have done residential projects, condominium projects, parking building, institutional projects, and commercial. But for my recent projects, I've been practicing myself. I am with my partner, architect Antoine Edward Farhat. We have been doing residential, commercial, and interior fit-outs. Okay. Finished projects, we have done residential from scratch, like from zero, from foundation, okay, excavation, foundation, up to the finished project turnover. And then for my current projects, we are doing condominium, interior fit-outs, residential projects, and commercial building in Lapu-Lapu. Okay, this is history of architecture 4. So this is about Filipino architecture or Philippine architecture.
Philippine architecture.
So I am assuming that you wanted me to relate the interview with history of Filipino history, right? Okay, so my current projects, I have clients who are very much into who are passionate when it comes to tropical design. Okay, and I can relate architecture with tropical design because we are in a tropical country. So my current projects, condominiums, not so much. We cannot really incorporate so much about Filipino architecture, but the residential part of my practice, yes, we can. I have been dealing with a current client who really wants a tropical type of architecture. So in my practice, we have right now we are still in the design development phase, and so she and her husband wanted a tropical design type of architecture. So they wanted to maximize airflow, typical Filipino architecture. Maximize airflow, ventilation, light, of course, to save on cost electricity bills. And then, of course, have the typical, because the Filipinos really love to show like the guests, they wanted to invite guests and they wanted to have a show kitchen. But then that's the difference, because foreigner, especially that her husband is a foreigner, they were even quarreling about why would you want an ancillary or an auxiliary kitchen? We already have a big kitchen in the main house. So why would you want another kitchen or a separate kitchen? That's the difference, right? Filipinos, it's customary for us Filipinos to really wanna show off, and you wanted murabag best foot forward all the time, diba? So these spaces, these minute details, kaning mga ancillary spaces like the show kitchen and the dirty kitchen, they do not have that sa gawas, diba? Kanang mura siya og kuan sa Filipinos nga naagid kay dirty kitchen, because you don't want the guests to notice how messy naagid kay back of the house all the time. So these spaces murag malingaw ka ba, makakuan kag mga gagmay nga details, but they are very important because they are Filipino architecture. They are part of Filipino architecture. So, maglahi-lahi gid siya. In a condominium type of setting, you cannot afford to have a dirty kitchen because you only have very little space. But in clients like what I'm having now, gusto gid siya nga naagid siya yung dirty kitchen. Okay? Murag mugawas yun ang pagka-Pilipino, and she has been living in the States for over 30 years. Dito na siya nag-senior, dito na siya na-minyo. Okay? Or 40 years even. Nya, wag niya po nawala ang pagka-Pinoy ba? Diba? And they wanted to have a retirement house here in the Philippines. And then, nadag yun, maski niya husband. So, ang ending na adjud siya dirty kitchen. So, yung nga mga gagmay nga details ba, it's what makes us Filipino. Diba? Any more clarifications?
That's all, ma'am. Thank you. So for our second question, may we ask you about what advices can you give to us?
Sorry, Day. I wanted to add, naasad ko'y nahuman lang, bago lang ang nahuman nga project. It's a PWD friendly house. And what makes it very Filipino? Diba, mas mukiter dito sa atong mga tiguang, diba? Atong mga oldies. And that house it's not common sa gawas, diba, to provide a shelter for it. It's common nga ang mga tao sa gawas, they would work hard and earn money and loan or sa kanilang buhaton to provide themselves houses. Diri, still the same, foreigner, nagtrabaho, OFW ang nagasto nga anak, and then the house is for the mother of the husband, no? Couple man sila. And then, still the same, nagyapon siya sani kaning rainwater collection area, bisag nanagod tayo mga modern nga they wanted to preserve the puso, kana ganing hand pump ba, or artisan anang well, they wanted to preserve that. And then it's very Filipino, kay di ba nagdako bet, I don't know if nakaabot mo ata, di ba na ay abot ni mo, di ba, these small details na gusto sa i-preserve sa kuan for the mother, kay the mother was very hesitant ba nga, uy, bago na kong balay, I don't want to lose my murag habit or custom na ako nga magbumba jud ko for my garden. Yes, murag sentimental ba, okay? So, ingon na bisag na namin gi-provide na tangke for rainwater collection, she still wanted to have that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's also kanang murag saving her a lot of money ba, instead of just paying bills sa water supply, di ba? Ni pabilin ko gihapon ang pagka-Pinoy, and the fact nga gihimo siya nga balay for that kanang ang para sa mama ba, di ba? So it makes it Filipino nga ni-care good ang mga anak for the mother, di ba? So murag dili raman kay ang architecture itself ra gyud ang Filipino. What makes it Filipino is the reason behind sad. For me as an architect, it's always important to talk to your clients and communicate very, very well the space requirements. Kay why would you hire an architect in the first place? It's to customize the house that you wanted to live on or you wanted your parents to live on, diba? So it's the job of an architect, okay, to cater to the needs and the space requirements na gikan sa kliyente. Okay?
Next question. So second question, ma'am, is what advices can you give to us aspiring architectural students?
Pieces of advice. Just finish your studies first. Okay? Kanang do your best, since wala pa man gyud mo aspiring students man mo, diba? So you will be architect soon. You will be thinking about the budget. No, akong nabantayan gyud, you are always on your phones, on your tablets, on your devices like laptops, and then you always kanang murabag before trying to come up with a building, make sure na naka freehand mo, murag hands on jud mo ba before you proceed sa inyong mga gadgets. mura gani, do not let the technology control you. Okay? Make use of or use technology to your advantage. Do not immediately proceed with kanang making SketchUp models kay ma-restricted mo gud mo. Ang inyong design process ba is cut short. Immediately mag-think mo nga unsa ray mga template nga ma-drag ninyo into the drawing. You did murabag ang design process is cut short, diha ra taman. Okay? Murabag ang inyong technology mo na ni control ninyo. Di mo ganahan mo butang og curve nga areas, it's because it's hard to make it in SketchUp. Diba? That is what makes you kanang murabag limited kay inyong design. So mao lang na ako maoy ako nabantayan actually sa mga students karon, always on their laptops, always on their phones or their tablets. Kanang wala na kanang murabag hands-on ba, wala na sketching, okay? Wala na joy mura nag typical tanan ninyong gipang-produce. Murag mo AI actually. So murag sana kanang use or maximize designing, maximize the use of free kanang murag idea. Oh, kanang ideas ba ngayon ana, di ba? Kaya yun ana, do not limit yourselves with what the technology can offer you. Okay? Before you do anything on your computers, make sure nga nana sa inyong mind or you have that on paper. Okay? Before mo may mga architects, kay karon ko may budget. Diba? Architects ninyo na may mga budget. So, at least, when you have projects later on nga, you have $1 million project. So, tagaan na din ninyo mga simple geometric kanang or mga rectangular niya. What if na may clients nga mo ask ninyo, can you give me this Pinas Zaha Hadid nga inspired? Then, you would be lost, diba? So, at least, nagsugod mo sa lisod kaayo or nindot kay mga forms, and then from there you develop at least ba nagsugod mo sa lisod, and then magka simple, dili kay simple, and then later on you'll get lost na may projects nga medyo diba? So at least wala pa may budget, so try to maximize the design process, enjoy the design process. Okay?
Third question, last question. Last.
Napay last question.
So, what can you say about new millennium architecture?
New millennium architecture. For me, new millennium architecture is ang new millennium architecture is just mura siya o eclectic architecture. Daghan siya o murag gikan sa lain-lain ba nga lain-lain nga mga architectures or concepts. Design. There's nothing new. You know, history repeats itself from history 1. Nakita mo kanang murag nag-repeat ra gyud. It's just that pareho ra silang meaning. Sorry mo, the architecture was so grand, then mo reduce to human scale, and then mo balik na sa obsession sa power, then mo balik na sa humble architecture. So the history repeats itself. For me, balik-balik ra gyud. It's just that na-improve lang because of technology. Okay? But then, for me, millennium architecture is eclectic. Lain-lain, gikan sa lain-lain nga style, and then naay uban nga especially nga ang mga clients na turon is very broad, na yung mga uban sa gikan sa states, na uban na gikan so whatever they want, well-traveled ang mga tao karon ba. So kung sa'yo na nakita sa gawas, especially with the advent of social media, makita na magid ka. So I want this Japanese style of architecture. So for me, there's nothing new. It's just that it's a collection of ideas from different styles. Yeah. Kana lang. With the help of social media and of course mga travels, kung naasad modern architecture, nasa uban nga they wanted to murag bring back the Mediterranean style with a twist of modern or kanang classic, i-combine nila og modern namin man ana. So for me, nothing new. It's just a mix up of murag mga lain-lain na styles from the past. Siguro na bago, but siguro kuan lang kanang murag unsa na tawag ana development or murag with a twist lang ba. Something like that. Oh, pinazaha.
Alright. So, do you have any
Do you
question,
have
guys?
any more questions?
Wala. So I think that's it for us. Ma'am. Thank you so much for wonderful interview. Then we have learned a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.